Yes, thanks a lot for the invitation first. I want to talk about the summer of 1999. I was 15 at this time, and just to give you a hint what type of summer it was the summer where Britney Spears had her first number one hit, and where Lou Bega sang his first number one hit, Mambo number 5. And it was also a special year for myself because it was my first trip to the United States. And it was also, actually, I have to admit, my first flight ever at that time. So I went via Paris by plane to the US for summer holidays with my father and my smallest sister, and we landed with this Air France plane in New York at the JFK airport. And it was, as I said, something really special for me going to the US as a 15-year-old. You can imagine, and you can see me here visiting me. I'm the guy there. I hope I don't look that similar anymore, where I visited with my dad and my smallest sister the Niagara Falls. Why do I talk about all of this? Because 15 years I was at that time, and you actually don't have that many, you can't remember that many facts 15, 16 years later. For sure, this is my passport from that time, and you still can see, as you can see here, the stamp by the officer when I entered the United States. As you can see, it was on June 18th, 1999. And at the same time, it was the summer of 2014, so 15 years afterwards. I asked the Department of Homeland Security what type of information they have on me, and they handed me over a couple of documents. Here, for example, you can see the document where I entered the United States for the first time. As you can see, it was via the JFK airport. But you can also see still in the documents 15 years later that I entered the US at 6:39 in the evening, and I was waiting in the line FD19 because the DHS has all this information on me even 15 years afterwards. And here, for example, you get an extra information on me. This was a data set from one of my flights to the US, the so-called PNR data. And as you can see in the top, they not only have the information when I flew from, for example, Paris to New York, but they also have for every time where I use the internet, the IP address, as you can see at the bottom. Or you also have the information if I get asked at the check-in counter if I want to get a rental car by the car company Hertz, for example, as you can see at the bottom line, and I said no. Also, these types of information are part of my PNR data set. And here you can see the over 20 pages of PNR data sets for only a handful of flights from Europe to the US, and you can also see that some of these spots are blackened out. Why do I talk about all of this? Because the same system of data collection will be implemented for the EU. Here you can see a news article from last autumn that there is a agreement between the European Parliament and the EU Council to implement such a system, and that all this information will be collected here in the EU for 5 years. I say clearly that I think that such a system isn't okay, that I don't want that all these data sets will be collected for me, and therefore I ask you at the end of my 400 seconds that you get active, that you say to all your politicians that you meet that they should stop such a system, and that you want to enter an airplane, and that you don't want to give your individual freedom, and that you don't want that they collect all these different types of information on you. Thanks a lot.